All right, and now it's my pleasure to introduce our third inductee, Mr. Reggie Whitten. Born in Seminole, Reggie graduated from the University of Oklahoma with a BA in political science and his JD from OU Law in 1980. From 1980 until 2000, Reggie served primarily as an insurance and corporate defense attorney. He is the co-founder and senior partner of Whitten Burridge, handling primarily plaintiffs' insurance cases. Reggie is the past president for the Oklahoma Association for Justice. In 2011, Reggie urged jurors to stay focused on a case that opposing counsel told him was too complex and too boring. A week later, that jury awarded $130 million to the plaintiff, setting a state record. Reggie has received so many awards, including the University of Oklahoma Seed Sower Award, the Compass Award for Project Exploration, Benefactor Award from Jasmine Moran's Children's Museum. In 2012, Reggie received the Regents Alumni Award for his dedication and service to OU. And in 2013, Reggie was inducted into the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. He is co-founder of Whitten Newman Foundation, created in memory of Reggie's son, Brandon. His family foundation also serves as the primary supporter for Sister Rosemary Nyumbai, who is here tonight. She is a CNN hero and part of this year's Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in the world. And she is here with us tonight and deserves recognition. Sister Rosemary, if we knew you were here, we'd give you your own award. She is a fixture. She is part of the University of Oklahoma as a whole, certainly of the law school, and we just love seeing you. Thank you for being with us tonight. Back to Reggie. He's the 101st most influential person in the world, very close to that top 100 list. He is co-founder of Pros for Africa and FATE, which is a fighting addiction through education. When we asked Reggie for his bio, he also mentioned to us that he is quite proud of the dinosaur he donated to the Children's Museum in Seminole, the Acrocanthosaurus, I believe, which is the state's dinosaur, from Atoka. He is a remarkable man, and I will now go through his three commenters and then complete them myself. Mike Burridge comments, second only in difficulty to invoking Judge Lee West, but I'll try. Mike Burridge. Without a doubt, Reggie is one of the greatest trial lawyers to come out of OU, and he has the track record to prove it. He has the candid ability to make a jury see his client's virtues in a case. He is a great friend and law partner. He has compassion for those who have not been as fortunate as others. But Reggie has another side. Being a great lawyer does not mean he has a firm grasp of the law. His knowledge of the law dates back to when he briefly looked at it in law school. And to him, it is now nothing but a dense haze from the past. He looks at what he does remember about the law as nothing more than mere suggestions or recommendations, which has never restrained him from using the law in the courtroom. His attitude is, if it's not the law, well, it ought to be. It is extremely hard to rein him in when we're at trial, when, not if, he steps over the line, or should I say, tramples it. I hear those all too familiar words. Mike, can you fix this? So far, we've been able to patch things up when this happens, but it's getting harder and harder as we go further away from that dense haze from days gone past. We have tried many cases, and every case is the best case we've ever seen. I look forward to trying these best cases we've ever seen together and fixing the law that he thinks to get in his way. President John Hargrave, president of ECU, who's with us here tonight. I am so glad to see my good friend Reggie Whitten inducted into the Order of Al Hall of Fame. It is a good thing he's being inducted into the Order of the Owl, because we were not even close to being inducted into the Order of the Coif. I think that's my favorite. I'm so proud to have known Reggie Whitten for over 40 years, from a state champion high school debater at Seminole High School to a moot court champion at OU Law. He possesses a creative mind, a quick wit, and a big heart. Reggie is a skilled trial lawyer. He is a good friend and a worthy foe. Jim Priest. Reggie Whitten has been one of my best friends for 34 years and co-counsel on some of my toughest cases. I describe Reg as a popcorn popper without the lid. Creative ideas and creative energy explode out of his brain, while the rest of us are left trying to scramble to pick up the popcorn of ideas and implement them. That happens in litigation and also happens in the nonprofit organizations in which I've been privileged to work with him. I've watched Reg evolve over the years, from a fresh scrubbed, cocky, and smart young lawyer to a mostly scrubbed, modest, and wise old lawyer. He is a man with tremendous skill, with great insight, and an enormous heart for the less fortunate. I'm proud to call him my friend. And I'll just add this, and that is, I've gotten to know Reggie over the last 4 years, and it was a day I'll never forget. He is truly one of those that inspires and is inspiring, and everything he does is purposeful and exciting and energetic, and he's changing lives. His relationship with Sister Rosemary and all of the work he has done with his nonprofits impact so many lives and impact so many of our students, it's hard to express. He walked forward and gave a $100,000 gift without even being asked, so that our students could be a part of Pros for Africa and go help people from across the globe in their hometowns. He stepped forward immediately when I was talking about how we needed to have more public interest fellowships for our students that would like to do public interest work over the summer but couldn't afford to do so. And he and Mike Burridge stepped up together and came forward on that initiative. Every time there is an idea, he steps forward. He always brings ideas. Just called this week with a bunch of ideas over to handle the events of this week. He always wants to help, always delivers, and can always be relied upon, and he's helping out our students in so many ways. It is an honor to be your friend. If I could now, I'd ask Reggie to come forward. Also ask Kimmy Kabunum to come forward as well. Presenting the award to Reggie Whitten is Kimmy Kabunum, who is a 3L who is published on the American Indian Law Review and serves as the Articles and Special Features Editor. She is president of the Black Law Student Association, and during her time with BALSA, the BALSA chapter has been named to these awards. Named Rocky Mountain Regional Chapter of the Year, Top Small Size Chapter, Top Overall Chapter, and the Moot Court team also won Best Petitioner's Brief. Her first year in law school, out of the entire first year class, she also won Best Oral Advocate. She is here and has graciously agreed to join us, despite the fact that early tomorrow morning, she is flying out to Uganda to join Professor Scaparlanda from the College of Law, joining Sister Rosemary in the efforts of Pros for Africa over in Uganda for her spring break trip that she's spending with other students that are there. She has become a very dear friend. Honored to have her present the award to Reggie.
Well, let's get this thing going because I have some work to do. First, Joe Harris got me down here. He lied to me. He told me that I did not have to follow Andy Coates. So that's the first thing. You know, that's a bad deal. You all heard how funny he is. But now I'm really mad. They didn't tell me I was going to have all these comedians introduce me. Thanks a lot, Mike. Jim, Johnny Bob, and all right. Now, to all you judges out here, I do not step over the line. That's Let me just say that, Your Honors. And I promise you I will not step across the line in your courtroom. Thanks a lot. How you gonna clean this one up, Mike? Let me see what else I got to clean up here. I'm going to talk about President Bourne in a moment. I got to say, this guy's the greatest dean of any law school in the country, and I've met quite a few of them. He is an amazing guy. He's so good for himself. Kim, I'm glad you put that statue down because it's going to be just a minute. You know that turtle, you talked about that turtle on the fence post. I want to talk about that for a minute, and I also want to talk about the recent events this week. I am definitely a turtle on a fence post. The difference between me and a turtle is I know who put me on there. It's all luck. Almost all of it's luck. I mean, I had the great fortune of being born in Seminole, Oklahoma, and I had all these role models. Dick Bell, Richard, your dad changed my life. There were some fellows that went ahead of me. Dr. Ron White was an amazing guy to look up to. Seminole, there must be something in the water because of all the people that came out of Seminole. But when I was a little boy, I remember standing on the courthouse steps, and my dad introduced me to Frank C. And Judge C., you've been a big role model in my life. Many, many others. But David Bourne, I'm so sad he can't be here tonight. But when I graduated from high school, I didn't have a place to go. I didn't have any money, didn't have a job. And David Bourne was teaching at Oklahoma Baptist University. You talk about luck. He dragged me over there, and they did not have a debate program. And because of David Bourne and others in Seminole, and I had the same high school debate coach David Bourne did. I had him, H.B. Mitchell. And again, another great stroke of luck. And when I found out that you could actually get paid for talking, man, it changed my life. And it was like getting paid to breathe. And so David got me a debate scholarship at Oklahoma Baptist University. And I got to take classes from David while he was there. I had no idea how great David was at the time. Then my next piece of luck, I had my first child. My next piece of luck, I transferred to the University of Oklahoma when David was elected governor. And I got a job at the OU Law Library when it was in the old barn. Just pure luck. And I was not particularly talented at filing pocket parts, but they let me stay there. My next piece of luck, and he's not here tonight, but Earl D. Mills. Many of you know Earl D. Mills. I got hired by him and a guy named Jim Folliard. And I went to work for Folliard, Mills, and Niemeyer. And Earl Mills taught me that you can win with dignity and grace and be honest. And that's where I probably picked it up, Mike. I didn't have to know law, just be honest. And juries like that. And so I got lucky, and I worked with Earl for about 20 years. And then I met a guy named Mike Burridge, and I met him when he was on the bench. He scared me to death because he was so quiet. Quiet people make me nervous. And but I met Mike Burridge, and he changed my life. Along the way, I met some others, and not in chronological order, but John Hargrave. I've known him since high school. Jimmy Priest, I met him in 1980. And there's too many, to name. Noma Gurich and I were on the student court together. Never dreamed, where she would end up. Judge, I didn't mean that the way it might be interpreted. You know what I mean. Mike, step up here and clean that up. But I was just lucky all the way along the way. And it's been an incredible ride. And somewhere along the way I got lost. And 6 months after I lost my son, I went to Africa. Some friends took me over there. And I saw what was happening in 2002 in Uganda. There was this terrible war going on. And, I was pretty much a lost soul. And I met Sister Rosemary, and I saw what she was doing over there. We live in the greatest country in the world, and we're not in danger, but Sister Rosemary was in danger all the time. It's a miracle that she's here, and she's saved tens of thousands of lives. And I saw what she was doing, And it was like medicine for a sick person. And we've been close friends ever since. If you'd told me when I grew up in the Baptist church in Seminole, Oklahoma, that one of my best friends would be a little nun from Africa, I would have said you're crazy. But we became very close, and close indeed today. I met my wife, Rochelle, right before I went on that first trip to Africa. And those two ladies gave me a reason to live. And so luck was a big part of my life. And I found that giving back was more important than getting. And that's been probably the biggest lesson I've learned. The University of Oklahoma changed my life. The OU College of Law changed my life. And let's talk about what happened this week. You all saw what happened with this fraternity. This young lady right here is getting on a plane tomorrow and going to Africa. But there's been hundreds and hundreds of kids from OU and other schools across this state that nobody's showing them on CNN. They're going over there to serve this little nun and help those kids. And that story should be told. And the truth is, there's no way that any institution can eliminate, people from saying and doing bad things. But the University of Oklahoma doesn't stand for that. What it stands for is what Kim is doing tomorrow. This is the greatest university in the country, in my opinion. We have the greatest college president in the country in David Bourne. No doubt about it. What this school stands for, was exemplified for me one day about 2 years ago. I was doing a book signing because I did a book about Sister Rosemary's life, and this little gal walked up to me, and she's wearing a T-shirt that said OU College of Law Pros for Africa, and it was Kim. And I talked to her quite a bit that day. I learned that she was from Texas, and we started doing this. But she is an amazing young lady, and that's what the University of Oklahoma stands for. And this young lady and some of the other young ladies and young men at the OU College of Law who travel all the way across the world and they don't get on CNN, that's what this school stands for. And so thank you all for coming, and thank you, Joe, for having me here tonight. I'm so honored. Appreciate it.